And the wedgie roll looks like this. So let's get started. So the only prerequisite for this tutorial would be just a normal wedgie. You can do it on either side, and this move can be done like rolling to either side as well. So I'm going to be teaching it on my right side primarily, but whatever I say can be mirrored on the other side as well. So let's get started. So we are going to start in a wedgie with your right foot in the hoop so that it's coming up to your right side. This part doesn't matter so much because right off the bat we're going to take our foot out of the wedgie. So when on the downswing, you're going to lift your right foot up and the hoop will travel off your leg and in between both of your legs just like this. So if you wanted to, you could really just start with the hoop just like this. And its contact points are the middle of the thigh as well as the inside of the ankle by that little round bone. You really only want like this much of the hoop. So if this was my leg, you only want this much of the hoop inside between your legs. You don't want it like halfway in or anything. It won't give it the momentum it needs to go into the roll. So just for the tutorial's sake, I'm going to start with the hoop and a wedgie. And a couple things that can make this first part a little easier to get to the hoop being between your legs is you can, on the downswing, obviously lift your right foot up, but also turn to the left just a little bit with your body. It helps with that momentum, kind of getting it to actually leave. It makes your leg a little shorter so that the hoop can actually cross underneath your foot. Because if your leg is longer than the diameter of your hoop, then think about it, like if you just leave your hoop right in front of you, your hoop will just hit the top of your foot or your ankle and it won't actually clear your foot. So that little tilt to the left sometimes helps with helping it clear your foot. Or you could just get a bigger hoop, or when you're doing a wedgie, you can, on the upswing, kind of like open your thighs a little bit so that it falls a little lower by your knees, because that will give it a little bit more leeway to actually clear your foot. Just a couple tips, but that part isn't necessarily the main part of the trick, so let's just keep going. Anyways, so if you shift your weight, kind of like pump your knees like single ladies, it'll go from right to left. Now, like I said, I'm going to be teaching it on the right side, but everything I say can be mirrored for the left side as well. So stand here, pump your legs, do it as many times as you would like, but then when you're getting ready to do the roll, you're going to, on that last little shove to the right side, you're going to want to kind of soften it. You don't want it to go, if you do it just as hard as you're doing it normally, it'll just kind of fly away. So that last little pump, you're going to want to slow it down, and by doing that, you can not only soften the pump of your leg, but also, instead of just lifting your heel, like you're doing when you're doing this, you're going to lift your whole foot so that it comes all the way over to your right side and you're just standing on your left toe. You can practice that, just kind of doing it normal speed, and then slowing it down. And the contact point will travel from the inside of your right thigh to the front of your right thigh. Okay, so you're pumping, and then that last pump, remember, you're slowing it down. So you're lifting your left leg up a little bit farther on your tippy toe on your left foot, and the contact point is now on the front of your right thigh on the ground, as well as this little part of the hoop should be touching your left calf. That is what's stopping the hoop from rotating farther to your right side right now. Because notice where the hoop is. You are primarily on this half of the hoop, even this quarter of the hoop, because as soon as you take your left foot out of the equation, the hoop will start spinning over to the right, which is exactly what you want. From here, you're going to put your left leg down on the ground, lift your right leg up, and move it forward a little so that it will then keep traveling behind your thigh, kind of to the armpit of your knee, your leg pit, whatever. And then it'll keep traveling because you're gonna bring your leg forward and out to the right a little bit so that it has that room to travel underneath your leg. And then you should be here. And from here, you just have to go back into a wedgie. So travel around the side, underneath, pick up your right leg, and then you just do like a little hop to reach to this side of the hoop so that you can go back into a wedgie. Because if you think about it, if you went into a wedgie without the little hop from right here, it might look a little clunky, even though it could work too. But I just think that that little hop kind of lets the hoop continue spinning while you get in place for a clean exit of the spin. But to each their own. So a couple troubleshooting tips. If you're having a difficult time getting the hoop to travel underneath your leg to go back into a wedgie, something that might help is when you're releasing the hoop for the very first time, you might be letting the hoop go too late, and it could be the contact point on the ground could be over to your right side. What you want to do is stop the hoop when it's kind of in front of you, kind of like a 45-degree angle, because this, as well as the contact point on your leg, will give it that space and momentum to be able to travel around and underneath your leg. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. I appreciate your support. And as always, happy hooping.